Okay, so I live right next door to a train station. Obviously, a train went past, took all the power. Thanks for that. It's really helpful. I have to check the timetables of the trains next week before I jump on. So hopefully you can join me over on this broadcast now and you'll find me. Hopefully, that would be lovely. So what else? So yeah, so that's where we're at. It's all about teaching people how to champion themselves as themselves. So not, not how I did it. I don't want you to do it how I did it because you're not me. I want to be able to support you to find the right resources, to find the right way, using mediumship, using whatever means possible for us to be able to find those things that you might have trapped really deeply within your psychic and also your subconscious. Your subconscious plays tapes over and over and over, and that's why you jump in the car and all of a sudden you get to the supermarket and you think, how did I get here? That's your subconscious playing a tape. So, there's so many things that we can tap into as humans to understand what our purpose is, who our higher self is. Are we listening to our higher self? Does our higher self think we're crazy? I think mine does. All those sorts of things. So I'm pretty excited and passionate about this sort of stuff because I just really want you to be the best version of yourself that you can absolutely, positively be in your life. And however that looks for you. So it's not my idea of striving for excellence, it's your idea of striving for excellence. And I love the individual beings that you all are and how you bring different things. And, every time I sit down to do a reading, I learn something new about myself as well. So, yeah. So other things, I've got a whole big list over here. Other things we'll be talking about is how to listen to our souls. So over the years, I've got lots of examples of people saying, how do I know if it's my thought, if it's my voice, if it's other people's voices, if I'm going crazy. So we'll touch on that as well and how to differentiate between I think the society term, and I'll use that a lot, okay, because people are expected to think in a certain manner. And that's why, people read books and you have to do it this way. Or, if you can walk over fire, you will learn to deal with your fears. Not necessarily. If you're wired that way, absolutely you'll learn to live with your fears. But if you're not wired like that, you're not going to really shift anything from a fear point of view. So, and we'll talk about fear as well, which I have a whole other theory on what fear is and how we can push through that. And that relates to everybody because it really is an emotional reaction to something. It's a reaction to what we're feeling. So, and how to understand what those feelings are. Because, when you're going, your adrenaline's pumping and you don't know whether it's a good thing because, you're going on a roller coaster, which you've always wanted to go on, or if it's a bad thing because someone's following you. It's the same adrenaline feeling. So I'll teach you how to work out which one's which and what your body does and how to listen to your body from a metaphysical point of view. So how to put your hand on your throat, how to put your hand on your belly, what you're doing when you're calling in those points to be able to look for alignment and look for trigger points. So I'll teach you how to do that as well. And then, now we've already got an amazing lady that does a lot of soul twin flame stuff on the Spiritual Events Directory. So one of the topics I had was how to attract the right partner. Now, when I say that, I'm not going to give you, and I am a witch, but I'm not going to give you some sort of crazy spell that you can call in Mr. Right and you'll live happily ever after. Attracting the right partner starts with you, okay? And my personal experience is I attracted 3 very good lessons in my life before I got my husband. So it's about self-discovery and understanding yourself. That's how you find your right partner. So I don't think that I'm going to teach you how to call in Mr. or Mrs. Right. I'm going to teach you how to bring yourself to that place where you're not only giving love, but you're actually able to accept it. Because a lot of people that have trouble finding the right partner, they don't have any problems loving someone else. Where they fall down and where they have a lot of trouble is putting those boundaries in place so that the right partner knows how to treat them. And it's just something that you need to do. You need to put those boundaries in place. So that's another topic that we'll be covering. Self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. This is a hard one for a lot of people. Even as small children, where we idolize a band, or we idolize somebody, or we want to be like a model, or we want to be like this person, could be a famous dirt bike rider. I'm pretty sure I modeled myself off Evel Knievel for a long time, because I was always hurting myself on motorbikes, generally showing off. So we have people that we look up to and people that we want to model ourselves off while we're learning who we are as human beings. And then when we hit about 28 years of age, Saturn comes in, and there's Saturn return, and Saturn's all about structure. And that's why we get to 28 and we go, oh, we're an adult. And you start actually thinking like an adult, because you know you're an adult up until that point, but it doesn't really dawn on you until you're about 28. That's what Saturn's all about. So accepting yourself is working out that although it would be really cool to do the Evel Knievel stuff, I have to work within my limitations and my own ability, and I can work really hard to get to his level. But is that what I really, really want to do? Or if that's what just I heard all the time, well, when she grows up, she's going to be like Evel Knievel. So I've just lived to that expectation. But then somewhere along the line, I want to stay home and do my hair and paint my nails, and I don't want to get on a dirt bike anymore. So living those expectations, accepting where you want your life to be, where you want to be, and accepting our quirkiness. Like, I'm a complete weirdo, and I love that about myself. I don't want to be like anybody else. I can actually ride a dirt bike very similar to Evel Knievel, not to his level, but I'm very good on a dirt bike. So I kind of embrace that, and I embrace my girly stuff too. So, and you don't have to have one or the other. You can do whatever you want. So the Warrior Chronicles, again, is all about championing yourself and bringing your story to life and making your story factual instead of, it's like I was talking to another group recently, and they were saying, in a material world, you fake it till you make it. So manifesting teaches you to live as though you've already got it. And multi-level marketing companies make an absolute mint out of you thinking like that. Because if you fake it till you make it, you'll eventually get it, because you start to throw that frequency out. And that works in the material world. Where it doesn't work is personal growth and your spiritual self and who your inner child is. Your inner child, though a child, is not stupid. So if you try to fake it till you make it with your personal growth, yep, I know, you'll keep getting lessons along those same lines until you learn not to fake it till you make it when it comes to spiritual growth. You can't do that. You just can't. You won't get. You'll get there eventually. But if you're not operating from your higher self and you're not understanding who you are on an authentic level, manifesting will be really, really hard. It will be hard because you don't actually believe it yourself. And the whole idea of manifesting, and why people are so good at manifesting when they do it, and we have a manifesting lady on this channel if you want to check her out, it's because they actually have done that level of work to be able to manifest beautifully. When we try to manifest, we go, what if it doesn't work? We've already self-sabotaged straight away. So understanding who we are, accepting who we are, putting our boundaries in place, not faking it till we make it when we come to personal growth, we'll be able to manifest whatever we want. Whatever we want. Seriously. It's that simple. But it's about understanding ourselves first and really, truly, honestly believing that that's what it is and not self-sabotaging. That's another topic that we'll be covering. Then we've got Viewers' Choice weekly topics as well. So basically that is, if you want to write to me and say, hey, can you cover this topic off? We'll do that. You want to learn how to use your pendulum properly, because sometimes pendulums can tell us little porcupines. Sometimes they do. Mine thought it was hilarious to do that. Generally when I asked the same question 15 times over and she got stroppy with me. Or if you want to learn a bit more about psychometry and how to tap into that, automatic writing, there's nothing off topic, okay? Because if I don't have personal experience in it, I will find somebody who does, or I will channel spirit and they will tell me. So we've got it covered. Guest speakers, I would love to do what Trish Rock does. If you haven't seen her already, just jump in and have a look. She interviews lots of people. She'll be interviewing me soon enough. And it's just, she introduces you to some people that you might not necessarily have come across to in life. And so she's able to do that. And, you know, there might be something in there that you just go, yeah, that's the person for me. So that's a really good hookup to do. I'd love to do something along those lines as well. But I want to do it from a vulnerability point of view. I hate that word because I struggled with it for so long. We'll get to that later why I struggled with it, but it was really hard for me to be vulnerable. And now it's so super easy because I'm not scared of it anymore, and I understand it, and I understand the level of power and comfort and empowerment that comes from being vulnerable, which I thought those three words were not being vulnerable. I thought vulnerability was weakness and suki la-las and everyone's going to get you. So that was a big rude awakening for me that I got a few years back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I started understanding a bit more about vulnerability. So I would like to teach you what I know, and then perhaps together we can sort out what everyone else is doing and how, you know, if that's in alignment, and give us some ideas. It's about idea swapping and understanding and going, oh yeah, cool, let's try that. If it doesn't work, so what? Try something new. Guest articles. So, I saw this in another group recently, and what they were doing was taking an article and putting it on their group and saying, and kind of giving the impression that they had written the article or had some in-depth knowledge on the article. And I found that the questions that were coming through couldn't really be answered because it wasn't something that this person had done authentically. So I don't want to do that. I really want to get somebody to even write an anonymous letter like, Dear Warrior Chronicles, this is what I'm dealing with at the moment. Can we table this? Where I won't be so quick to support people is I don't want to tell you when you're going to meet the man or the woman of your dreams. I want you to champion yourself to the point that you would automatically attract that person. I don't want to tell you that you're going to be at the bus stop on November 23rd, 2020, and that's when you're going to meet them. Because to me, that's boring. It really is boring. The real fun is when you can look at yourself, understand yourself, know exactly who you are, and not be afraid to grow and learn and explore yourself a bit more. So guest articles will all be about people that have actually written really cool articles or write into the Warrior Chronicle. This is what I'm dealing with. I'm having a narcissist mum. And it's really hard to break that contact and put those boundaries in place because she manipulates me on an emotional level. How can I master my emotions more so I'm able to feel comfortable and confident putting those boundaries in place using words of love, not anger. So my mum understands that when she treats me like that, she's going to be put back in her place, but politely. So we can cover that off as well. She's got some comments, so I'll pop those up. What else? Astrology. If I could marry astrology, actually my husband would probably let me marry astrology because then he might not have to hear about it every second day. Astrology is the freakiest thing you will ever look at in your entire life, and you will never grow tired of researching it. You will never grow tired of, actually your eyes will probably fall out before you put your book down. Astrology is the most scientific meets metaphysical. It's up there with numerology. You just can't, mathematics is science. Numerology is exactly the same. They use a mathematical scientific equation to get to umbrella stereotypical numbers and what those numbers actually mean, the vibration of those numbers. Astrology is exactly the same. You've got 12 houses, you've got all your planets, you've got everything there, and then we break those down. So I'll give you a little tip because I want you to be excited about astrology because I'm excited about astrology. Let's have a look at Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, Snow White is you, okay? Now, I know Snow White's a girl. I know she's pretty girly, but just look at it from a spiritual point of view, not from a logic brain, okay? Other side. So, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, the Seven Dwarfs are your 7 sub-personalities of yourself. These are your planets, your main planets, not asteroids, not all the other stuff, okay? Your main planets in your chart, in your astro chart. Now, Snow White is you. So you've got pole position with the sun. That's your sun sign. Now, when you read your horoscope and you go, that doesn't really sound like me. And sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's a miss. It depends on where the progressed planets are. So you're relocated, your transits, where everything is, where the whole universe is sitting compared to now looking at your natal chart. So stay with me, because Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when she at the end of the cartoon or the movie understands each of the idiosyncrasies and the characteristics of those seven dwarfs, she meets Mr. Perfect. So what this fable tells us, or what this cartoon tells us on a very deep level that is over the heads of so many people, is that when we master our seven sub-personalities, we can start manifesting so much easier. We can start bringing in the things that we are truly worthy and deserving of, that we believe wholeheartedly that we're truly deserving and worthy of. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I'll teach you more about that when we come to the astrology, week. If we need to do 2 weeks back to back or come back over something, more than happy to do that. It's not a big issue at all, because astrology is, you're going to need a tequila at the end of reading some of the astrology stuff, because it's just so much information out there. But even if you just learn parts of your own chart, and I'm happy if you want to send me a chart, happy to get you pointed in the right direction. Your North Node is your soul contract. So what the soul needs to achieve, or what your soul is trying to achieve this lifetime, where it is right now. The mind's in the 7th house in Libra, and that is known as the warrior placement, the warrior movement, the Warrior Chronicles. So I'm totally living my soul contract. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And because it's in the 7th house, and Libra is the house of relationships. So Libra is the ruler of the 7th house. So I've got a double whammy. I can't stuff this up. My whole life purpose is to build relationships, enhance relationships, and help people understand how to warrior themselves. See? So when you understand aspects of your sub-personalities, you can actually understand yourself at a greater, deeper level. You don't even have to believe in astrology if you don't want to. But there's a whole bunch of fables out there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we don't even... not Snow White, beg your pardon. Three Little Pigs. That's astrology. It's astrology. It's about boundary setting as well. I'll teach you about Three Little Pigs later. So it's just all these wonderful things out there, and all these little hints and tips and clues that we have throughout life, that until someone says, do you realize? Or did you think about this? You go, oh yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you never think about it again. It doesn't matter whether you think about it every day for the next year, or you research it deeper, or you go and find your own fable. All that matters is that you have a deeper, clearer understanding of who you are as a person. And that's what it's all about. It's just, yeah. If you can't tell by the look on my face that this is where I totally get my kicks in life, by helping people find out who they are, and who they are at their own level, not at anyone else's level, not the label, not the wife, not the daughter, not the mum, who they are. My son for years called me Joby-Wan Kenobi. Now, my name is Johnita, but a lot of people couldn't say Johnita, so then I got Joe. Then from Joe, I got Joby, and then from Joby, I got Joby-Wan Kenobi. So when I used to pick up my little, 18-month-old, 2-year-old child from daycare, he would say, hey, Joby-Wan Kenobi. People were devastated that my son did not call me mum. I never once told my son that he had to call me Joe, Joby-Wan Kenobi, Joby, hey giraffe. He called me whatever he wanted to call me, and he called me that. That's fine, because I don't have to be his mum. There's no ego tripping, I'm a mother now. That's what he's comfortable with. It doesn't change the dynamic of our relationship. He just calls me Joby-Wan Kenobi. So this is what it's all about, understanding who we are at ourselves, being comfortable with ourselves, and not giving a bloody hoot about what everyone else thinks. What else have we got? Animal healing. Okay. Now, animal healing is something fairly new. Fairly new, because it's really been in the last, I've always been able to touch animals and work out what's going on. But it's really been in the last maybe 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, that I've actually had more and more animals popping into mediumship readings and telling me that, that was the only choice that their owner could make. They're comfortable with that. I had one recently who had a secret. Now, his mum, the day before she had to put him to sleep, made a secret with this puppy. And well, he's 11, but I call all puppies puppies, even if they're Great Danes, they're still puppies to me. And the secret was, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I shared it, was that you look up at the clouds, and that's how we remember each other. So it was very like heartbreaking stuff. But what he did, he said to me, this little doggy said to me, but that's our secret. Because she's saying, just tell the lady what our secret was. And he was adamant. That's our secret. That's our secret. But she shared it with me. But what he did was he put a yellow bandana around his neck. He put a yellow sun visor. You know the old plastic ones, real dicky looking tennis ones. He put one of those on, a yellow bandana, and he took me out the backyard. Now, he refused to tell me what that secret was, even after she let the cat out of the bag. But the sunshine, the yellow of the bandana, the visor, you're looking up to keep the sun out of your eyes while you're looking at it. He gave me all of those clues as to what's going on. So while I was describing this to the lady, she started crying. Because even though I didn't say, he said about the clouds, I got everything else, and that was enough for her to know that this little doggy that was riding around my feet for hours before I went into the session with her was actually hers. So animal healing, they're coming through thick and fast. So we'll have a look at how we can talk to our own animals that have passed. Might even do some free reads on here. Tap into animals. There's a lady that will be joining us at that session who has had a horse. So we'll keep out for that lady because she will want to connect in with her horse in a big way. So just if you're going to continue to watch me, thank you very much. But we'll keep an eye out for that lady with the horse. Meditation and visualization. Now, I have some really weird views on meditation and visualization because I can't meditate, save myself. I cannot sit still and hum, listen to guided meditation. I can't sit still. But what I did learn, and I learned this from, I was in Thailand and I was watching the monks, and the monks were being present in the moment. Now they chant, they they do all that beautiful stuff that's just amazing when you hear it in real life, aside from videos and things like that, when you actually feel the frequency shift where they push that ripple out. When they're doing that, it's just, if you ever get a chance to do it, just do it. You won't be able to breathe. You hold your breath the whole entire time. It's that beautiful. But what they did teach me was the art of mindfulness and being here in the present moment. So I go to the gym a lot and I lift very heavy weights. I'm talking hundreds of kilos. Sometimes a session might be 3 or 4 tons that I'm moving. And I love that. But I tell you why that is my meditation, because I can't think of the damn thing else while I'm grunting, groaning, and being so present in the moment. I'm focusing on my form, focusing on my breathing, where I want to lift the weight this way. So I'm looking towards the sky. I'm thinking about all those things. I am so present in that moment right then and there that I am meditating. And I want to teach people that you don't. So many people listen to guided meditations and it works for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. I'm not discrediting meditation at all. But for a lot of people that are like me that can't sit still, they're the ones that need it the most. But there's so much emphasis on having to sit quietly and listen to guided meditation or music or doing your breathing and stuff like that. I still need to breathe to get that weight off the ground and where I need it to be. So I'm doing all those things. So for me, meditation is very, very different compared to traditional meditation. So I want to teach some people about what they do. I'm happy to take some questions on finding out, where they are in their lives and what activity that they like doing that they can actually do that. So, for example, if you love walking the dog, but you notice that your mind trickles off, then I would suggest that you go somewhere where there's a footpath, not grass, or if you go on the grass and you look for the white stones, or you look for little yellow flowers, or you make sure you don't step on the cracks in the footpath, or you don't step on, those little black dots that like little tar marks and something. I would recommend that you don't step on those, or you keep an eye out for them, or you keep count. That way you're totally present in the moment. Your mind can't think about anything else because you're looking for the next one. or you're keeping count of how many black spots you've already seen. And you can teach your brain how to be present in the moment. And then you can always do the guided meditations or the music stuff and the breathing and all that beautiful calming stuff later. But it's a big step between and it's unrealistic sometimes to expect ourselves to get there so quickly. My husband is the king of meditating. He can be like running around. We got 2 German shepherds and they always make an appearance. You can look forward to that. But he can be running around with them and then say, right, babe, I'm going for a breathe. And he is in the moment like that, able to breathe, totally centered, totally focused. He's crazy, okay? I can't do that. I go, babe, going for a breathe, and off I go to the gym. The same thing, okay? So we're going to be kinder to ourselves and accept that traditional meditation is not going to work for everyone, but what else can we do to make sure that we're present in this moment right here and now? Smell the roses is something that we hear all the time. Make sure you stop and smell the roses. You're not anywhere else when you're smelling a rose. Trust me, you're in the bloody moment. Even if it doesn't have a smell, the first thing you notice is there's no smell. You're still in the moment. So that's what we're going to do. So that's another topic that we will cover. Visualization and how that works. Visualization is different for everybody, okay? Because if I say to you, let's picture ourselves in a beautiful cabin in the middle of the woods. Now, if you're in Australia and you're in the middle of the woods, we've got about I don't know, I'm going to take a rough guess, 14 of the world's most venomous snakes here. I don't know if you actually become, if you're scared of snakes or mice or rats or spiders in the middle of the bush, in this beautiful log cabin that I'm trying to create that for you. So it's about safety when you're visualizing as well. So if you jump on and do, like if I said to you, okay, now we're going to walk down towards the creek and see a beautiful waterfall. If you got trapped under a waterfall, I've just created a major nightmare for you. Or if you need to go to the toilet in the meditation, I'm probably not being very helpful there either. So visualization and how to make it work for you and not having to follow exactly what the voice says. So if you're doing guided meditation and it takes you on those journeys and you're not comfortable with it, I'll teach you how to trick your brain or to pull your brain, your conscious, your creative brain forward and say, okay, I'm just going to do it this way because this is where my comfort level is. It also goes on the back of boundaries, okay? So because you've still got to have boundaries when you're doing stuff like that. It's okay to do that. Okay. There'll be some homework that we will do along the way as well. And the homework will be relating around, okay, we do astrology, for example, as if I wasn't going to use that as an example. I might say to you, okay, guys, what I would like you to do from this session is send me through or have a look. I'll give you some free apps, so it won't ever cost you anything. Where we can save cost and be very, very, very cost effective and thrifty, we will. I'll give you an astrology app where you go and put your details in, and I want you to come back at the next session and we'll talk about Chiron and where Chiron is. Now, Chiron is the planet of wounds and healing. So my Chiron is in a position that says that I will be bullied, picked on, manipulated, and have cruelty done to me by males. You think? That couldn't have been any more spot on if someone looked at my life under a microscope and then wrote that in hindsight. It was bang on. I've got a beautiful husband now, but I have done tremendous amount of work on my Chiron, on my Saturn, on my Pluto, my Neptune, and also my moon. So my moon is in Pisces in the 12th house. So I keep my emotions very, very close to my chest, but I also have very strong emotions as well. So, but having said that, I pick and choose who my audience is when I share my emotions. And that's why some people think I don't have them. It's the level of trust that needs to be there first before we share what my emotions are. So if I say to you, okay, we're going to have a look at Chiron this week. So next week, come back and tell me where your Chiron is, which house it's in. So if it's 1 through to 12, or if it's if it's in your second house and it's in Taurus, I want to know those two details, and then we're going to have to dissect it out. And now, when we dissect one placement only, you will get stereotypical placement ideas, okay? So my Chiron being in Taurus in the second house will manifest in this way for me because it's poorly aspected. So it's not supported by other stronger planets that can back it up to give me a bit more grunt. Whereas your Chiron might also be in the second house in Taurus, but you've got beautiful planets around it that enables you to be a little bit more ballsy, or you've got a really strong mum, and although your dad was a bit of a twat, your mum had brass balls and she was able to say, hang on a minute, that's not going to happen here. So you and I might share that same Chiron Taurus second house, but how it actually manifests in our own individual natal chart will be very, very different. So we'll have a look at that, and then I might even give you some more homework to go along. Okay, now I want you to learn about this. And that's how we're going to do it one step at a time through all of these topics, purely because, you know, I can sit here and read for you and rattle off, but there's no, my whole motto, my entire life is to not give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish. That way you can go and catch snapper. You can go and catch whiting. You can catch the great big fish. You can catch the predators. You can catch little babies. You can catch toadfish. You can do whatever you want. But if I give you one fish and see you later, and sometimes that's what readings are, and sometimes we need readings. I've been reading for a very long time. There's totally merit in it. But you being able to self-soothe, self-help, self-grow as a result of that reading and come away with some really cool resource tools so you can take yourself to that next level up before your next birthday, preferably, or before your next personal year kicks over, so a couple months before your next birthday, then we're winning at life because we have a greater awareness of what needs to take place. So, and one of the big ones that I want to talk about as well, and it'll be threaded across most of the sessions that we do together, and that will be the warrior story. Now, that is not my story, that is your story. So I will go probably first, unless someone wants to beat me to it and give me their story. You can do that anonymously if you like, and I will write back to you. Obviously, you can't do it anonymously to me, but I'll write back to you and let you know what session we're going to do and what date we'll do it on, and then you can jump online with everybody else, and we can have a look at your warrior story and see, you know, you can talk about anything at all, from people passing away and the dent that's left in your life and you're not letting go of that grief, and how we can support you to be able to let go of that grief. We can call in resources. I'll want to get that warrior story from you, and I want to call it a survivor story because we're warriors. Like, we are warriors of light in every single way. We're warriors of life. We're warriors to get through one step after another. I mean, there's not anyone watching right now or that will watch this replay later that hasn't been through some level of absolute freaking horseshit in their life. It's just the way it is. But we're warriors because, you know what, we're able to watch these videos. We're able to say, I need some help. So that makes us warriors because we know that there's something that we need to work on. We don't even have to know what that is yet. We just need to know that there's something there and we want to be able to grab it. And when we do that, the universe will provide us with those teachers the same way the universe provided me with my teachers. So that'll be a good thing for you to go on. I will share my own story. Now, if Sarah and Trish and even Arthur are watching, they will know that I will struggle doing that because I'm an empath, I'm a medium, I've been talking to spirit my entire life. I have South Node in the first house of Aries, which means that this is one of my very last incarnations. I am born on the 26th of a month, which will tell you that I am so old soul that I swear my soul needs walking sticks sometimes. My guardian angel gave up the ghost bloody a year ago. But when I share my story, I'm not sharing it from a place of I need you to feel sorry or I need you to feel pity. It's not about that. It's about saying that it's okay to talk about the things that happen to us that in hindsight happen for us. And some of the most horrific things have happened. I've just had horrible childhood in particular, which resulted in me moving out the day I turned 16. So without giving too much away, because it's way too deep this early in our relationship, you can look forward to hearing that little parts of stories, which I will share, because as part of my vulnerability journey, I need to be vulnerable and open up and share to people. Look, it's not the easiest path to walk when you decide that you want to learn more about yourself. And the reason why that is because all the people that want to keep you in that label fix, in that feeling of poverty, feeling of emotional neglect, codependency, all those things that people want you to stay in so you can be controlled, so they can manipulate situations, that people are going to be really pissed off. So your spiritual path and your spiritual journey is often one taken a long time by yourself, where, you know, you've just got spirit, or you've just got your gut instinct, or you've just got your dog or your cat, or maybe one other person that you let in. But essentially spiritual growth. And the more you level up and the more you understand yourself, the more empowered you feel as an individual. And it's not because you think that you're better than someone else. It's because you have a greater self-awareness and you're less likely to tolerate, because you have a newfound gratitude for different things. The grass starts looking greener, the sky starts looking bluer. You'll have a less tolerance level for things that are not mattering, the things that are materialistic. And, you know, you can't, I think Maya Angelou said that, you know, people will remember you for the things that you did, not for the things that you had. So, and your spiritual growth and awareness and that path, once you get on your higher self path, you will let go of some people. It's just the nature of the beast, and that's okay. You won't be by yourself the entire time. People will come to you and gravitate to you as your frequency changes and as you grow more. The path to your higher self is a never-ending journey. I did not get here and go, I'm done now. I'm going to sit back, have a beer and have a meat pie and everything will be life. But it's kind of like, if I explain it to you, you're walking around on the ground and you're thinking, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like this. I can see over there, I can see trees, I can see flowers. I like having a bit of a play, got everything that I need. And then one day you just go, I didn't see those stairs there before. Might go for a little climb up the stairs and see what's up there. So you climb these stairs. That's when you level up. And you get to a bit of a plateau, a bit of a top of the mountain, and you have a look around and you go, yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this. I can see a lot more from up here. I didn't realize that was there before. I didn't realize this was there before. What can I do about this? I didn't see that before. So you might stay there for a little while you're taking the scenery and taking all the things that you want in your life. And then one day you go, oh, I didn't see those stairs there before. And you walk up those stairs. And then you get to this new level up. And the scenery changes yet again. Not everybody is going to be able to walk up those stairs with you. Some people are going to want to stay at that second step. Some people will get all the way to the 10th step. And that's happy. That's where they want to be. That's where they love the scenery. They love the earth. They can see everything they want. They see the stairs, but they're not interested in taking them. That's okay. That's, you know, not everybody's going to keep leveling up. I want to keep leveling up to the point that it's not because I want to rise above everybody else. I want to see how far I can go as a person. Like, I've come from complete shit. And the best flowers are grown from complete shit. So I want to see if I'm going to reach the very top and be a tulip, or I was going to say one of those corpus flowers, but I think they don't smell very nice, do they? But I want to, you know, I want to see how big a magnificent flower I can be. And not because I'm in competition with any other flower. I'm in competition with myself. I want to keep taking those steps up that mountain range, up those stairs to see what's next. And then I might sit there for a little while. And I sat there for 2 of my relationships. I sat on the same plateau because they did not like me doing my mediumship stuff. One guy was in complete competition with me, and I wasn't able to grow because he belittled me every time I did learn something new or wanted to bring something new in. So that was really hard. And the next person, completely oblivious to the fact he took his own life. Now he's aware of it because I can't get rid of him. He hangs around me, but he's not annoying anymore, so that's a good thing. But I couldn't get past that plateau because I had different people around me. And when my life changed and those people left my life, I started climbing the stairs again. And now I've got a husband that says, "Hey, did you see those stairs? Up you go," which I love because he's constantly challenging me to see what's next. How far can I go in my journey? And I want you guys and whoever's listening and joining in to walk up those stairs too at your own pace. You might get to the first one and need paramedics because it's been a while since you've done some spiritual exercise, and that's okay. Get your refreshments, have a little breather, work yourself out, off you go. And then, you might, when you're ready, you might get to the first set of steps and go, I've seen all this before. I know what this all is. This is like deja vu for me. Because you've done it in a past life, so it's not that scary. So you run up the next set of steps, and lots of people do that. It's also when people have near-death experiences or really, a moment of mortality clearance, we'll call it, and they go, "Oh, that's when I awakened." I don't think you awaken and that's it. I think you walk up the stairs, check stuff out, and then you just keep going. And you keep going, and you keep going. And I don't know how many flights of stairs. I reckon that I'm up there because I just keep wanting to go. What else can you show me, Spirit? What else can you show me, Universe? How strong am I really? I'm no longer that weak, bullied, beaten child that used to hide from their parents. I'm not that person anymore. And I could go through life at that first level, allowing people to do that to me, or I can go, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm an extraordinary person. I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know how to spell extraordinary, but I'm going to go for it. And I'm not going to be scared of what I see along the way. And that's all it takes, that first step. And it's really, you don't even need to come out the block thinking that you've got all the answers. I don't have all the answers, and I've been practicing this for 40-something years. I don't even have half the answers because I'm probably halfway through my life. But I'm not going to stop now because momentum is building, and I just kick goals all the time on every single level. Sometimes I frick it up so bad it's not funny. But who cares? At least I had a go. I have a hearing loss, and I have trouble in aeroplanes going up and down because of the cabin pressure. So I have to manually unblock my ears and keep that balance. And because it's nerve damage, the nerves don't, some people get earache, I've been told. The nerves don't tell me that the pressure's there. So I've actually got to physically, some people stare at me, but they don't understand what I'm doing. So that's okay. I've always wanted to skydive. And my entire life I've been told, don't be ridiculous, it'll blow your eardrums out, you'll never hear again, you'll be profoundly deaf. Even an audiologist told me not to risk it. Previous partners, no, I think one wanted to throw me out of a plane without a parachute on. Thank you. But my husband bought me a 14,000-foot tandem dive for my birthday. Now, it was the most amazing, exhilarating, exciting, calm. You just fly like a bird. You see the earth right there. You can feel the wind. You can't breathe properly because the wind is going so fast up your nostrils, it's almost suffocating. If you open your mouth, all your lips go everywhere, your teeth dry out. And you know what? It was the freaking best thing I've ever done in my entire life. And look at this, I can still hear. My head didn't blow up. I'm not profoundly deaf. I'm pretty close, but that was before the skydive. So sometimes it's about taking risk and being okay with those risks and just thinking to hell with it. I had all these people around me at that plateau telling me why I couldn't do it. I said to my husband on my first date with him, I'd love to skydive. 4 years later, out of nowhere, he remembers, or he remembered all along, was waiting for the right opportunity. I went to Picton here in Sydney. and had the best time of my life. I had the best tandem person with me. He was such a lovely man. He was worried because I was so calm. He thought I was in shock. I wanted to do this my entire life. And my husband gave me that opportunity because you know what? If I hadn't stayed at that threshold and not gone up those steps to get in that plane, I wouldn't have leveled up. It's as simple as that. That's the fire walk for me. Him jumping on a horse and going horse riding was a fire walk for him. So mainstream stuff is not necessarily going to work for everyone. It doesn't need to. But it's about you understanding yourself and being so comfortable and so confident that you can get to that next level up. And that's what the Warrior Chronicles are all about. It's all about you, not about me, even though I've done all the talking, waffling on for an hour every single week. I want to interact with you. I want to learn about you. I want you to learn about me, and I want to go on this journey together. Sometimes we'll hold hands, sometimes we'll butt heads. That's life. But you know what? I can guarantee you this. It'll be a hell of a ride, and we'll have so much fun, and we'll learn heaps from each other and from all the resources that will call in as a result of it as well. So, yeah. All right, I've got a few comments. I'll just have a quick look through and make sure anyone's... Yes, I got back. Thanks, Beverly. Oh, there's lots of you watching. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much for your time. Leanne, Lulu. Oh, trains are amazing, except when they stuff up your system. Okay. I'm a Scorpio, and no one understands how we work or think. You know what, Leanne, if you're hopefully, she's still watching. The thing with Scorpios, and this is stereotypical, okay? So remember I said before about all your other sub-personalities, Snow White sub-personality. So we're just looking at Snow White. Scorpio energy is interesting because you're ruled by the 8th house, which is the house of learning, occult, mysticism, other people's money, sex, all those things that are considered taboo and considered, you know, a little bit raunchy, a little bit naughty. You know, it's a big learning house. The 8th house is a big learning house. And because Scorpio is super sensitive, and they are, and they think that they're super mean. But the trouble with Scorpio, and this is where if you get a really good aspected chart and you've got some really good placement, and it'll depend on where your Scorpio is too and how you use that energy. Like if you've got it in, if you've got it over in Aries, or you've got it over in a me situation in your thing, you could be very vengeful, you could be very nasty. But anybody can, not just Scorpios. But Scorpios are super sensitive, but sometimes they have trouble letting go of things. And the thing I worry about most with Scorpio is when they replay that tape over and over and over, because sometimes they can get quite bitter. And that's a worrying thing. If you've got a really healthy Scorpio that's able to look at themselves and go, yeah, you know what, I butted heads with that person, and that's okay, tomorrow's a new day, and they let it go properly, and it doesn't build as resentment, and they don't get sick, and they don't constantly have the flu, or they don't constantly feel fatigue, that's great. But Scorpios tend to live a lot in their head, and there's a lot going on for them all the time. So what I'd like to see Scorpios do, and if this is some of the things that you're troubling you too, is I'd like to see Scorpio really not take offense to so much stuff and not be so sensitive, because it can be quite stingy. But then if you, like I'm Libra Sun, Aries rising, and I have Mars in Cancer. So you could be stingy with me, I won't be stingy back, but I will get you in a headlock and I will hurt you, because that's how my makeup is. Obviously, you know, that's a scenario, it's not a real life situation. But you will keep thinking about it. I won't. My Aries will go and I'll forget about it, but you'll keep thinking about that. And that's what I want to teach Scorpio as a stereotypical sun sign, okay? So if it's aspected different ways, and you've got 7 other planets that we need to take into consideration here, but if that's something that you're struggling with, being able to let things go so it doesn't affect you. You don't have to go out there and forgive them and take them bunches of flowers. You can just not think about them ever again. That would be ideal, because you do get in your own headspace and you guys think a lot and think deeply and sensitivity. And yeah, Scorpio is a beautiful sign, but they can get caught in their own headspace. So We'll keep an eye out for that when we get to the astrology. We'll also work out, Leanne, if you're going to tune in at that point, is we'll look at your numerology as well to see where your balance points are. And if you're missing anything, we might be able to superficially create that in your life, which will balance you out a bit, which will make you less likely to... Cool. Stubborn, strong, observant, and mysterious. All right, what else we got though? What if you don't know the time that you were born? Leanne, that's okay. There's actually what you call a rectification chart. And there's free apps for this as well. But if you get that caller out in one of the sessions through Spiritual Event Directory, and I will help you with it. But what it's called a rectification chart. So we say, just say you were 19 when you had your twins. We have a look at, we take from 12 p.m. to the middle of the day, and we have a look at where your transiting planets are. And we can work out the first 90 degrees of your chart, actually the first 90 degrees of your life. So we'll look at the 19 degrees, and we'll work out when childbirth is aspected in your chart. So where all your planets move, like they do now, they'll actually move all the way through. So if you had a child at 28, then we'd be looking to see your Saturn return. So Saturn's come back to a spot. What else is going on there? And then we can work out your time of your birth. So it's a rectification chart. You can get free apps to do it. You can either do it yourself or sing out to me, and we'll book you in for a session. We'll do it that way because it's quite labor intensive. And we do need to do some other stuff like, if you knew what your parents' star signs were and stuff like that, so we can have a look at your moon, your sun, where they're aspected, how they look, that sort of stuff. So there's a lot involved in rectification chart, but there are free apps that simplify the process for you. Disney was an absolute visionary, absolute, so underrated in so many different ways. And Leanne Leanne can't meditate. That's because you're a Scorpio. We won't judge you for that. But like I said before, it's because you're all up in your headspace. So yeah, we'll find out what you're really good at doing. Humming, doodling, listening to music quietly in the background, and keeping your hands busy so you've got an input and an output, probably the way for you, by the feel of it. So we'll have a bit more look at that. But I just explained, Leanne, how we can do that. Paula, absolutely help you. Feel like giving up. Send me if you're comfortable, send me through some of the stuff that's going on for you, and we can certainly have a look. You have a triple, Linda Moore. We shall all say a prayer for you, my darling. Depends on where your Scorpio is and how that manifests for you. And I'd love to see where your moon is. That would be really cool. Thank you, Diane. Learning to let go. Yeah, exactly, Leanne. We can teach you how to do that. Okay, Paula, sounds like you've got all sorts of things going on. So if you're comfortable to share those next Tuesday at 9:30, Paula, we will certainly go through that and have a little look. And what we'll do is we will fast track a little bit of negative self-talk, okay? And we'll have a look at that. And we'll work out why you've got that success block. And to me, and I don't know your story, but every time I try to tune into you, I get this big, so that's telling me butt out, which is a success block. That's you blocking yourself from going further, okay? So it's like you're at that first staircase and you need to go up a little bit more. So we can have a play with that if you like next week, Paula, and see what comes through for you. I was 22 when you had your first child. You crochet. Oh my God, I love you already, Leanne. You've redeemed yourself for being a Scorpio now. Nice work. All right, my darlings, I've got a little bit over time. Thank you very much for tuning in today. My very first live presentation on Spiritual Events Directory. It has been a blast. Hopefully I've chewed your ears off enough and given you enough creative thoughts and food for our next session next Tuesday. I would dearly love for Paula to come through next Tuesday and have a chat with us, see what we can do, pool our resources together. This is all about helping each other, learning from each other, using my weirdness as a brilliant tool and a resource, because, you know, that's why they gave it to me. So I didn't have to go to uni for it. So I got it for something. I may as well help you guys become the best versions of yourselves that you can possibly be. So thank you very much. I'm Johnita Francis, and this is the Warrior Chronicles, and I very much look forward to seeing you all again next Tuesday at 9:30. Thanks. Bye for now.